If you have been working for a while, you have probably noticed something that doesn't sit right. People around you, less experienced, less technical, sometimes honestly not even that good, are moving faster than you. Promotions, visibility, better opportunities. And you're sitting there thinking, what the fuck I am missing? You're not missing effort, you are just playing the wrong game. In this video, I will show you what actually drives career growth in leadership roles, the three levels of value most team leads get stuck in, and how to move on and move up without burning out or turning into a corporate bitch. Because working harder is not your problem. I have spent more than a decade leading technology teams and the last 6 years mentoring and training over 2,000 team leads. And this pattern shows up everywhere. Smart people, hardworking, reliable, stuck. Not because they are bad, not at all, but because nobody told them how game actually works. So let's break it down. There are three levels of value in any company, and if you don't understand them, you will not grow. Guaranteed. Level number one, execution. This is where everyone starts. You are the doer. You write code, you solve problems, you deliver. And if you are a team lead, this is where a lot of people quietly get stuck. You still review everything, jump in just to save time, fix things yourself, because it feels productive, it feels like control, it feels like leadership. Spoiler alert, it's actually not. Execution is the lowest level of value, not because it's useless, but because it's replaceable, hard to scale, and invisible at the higher levels, and yet it could be replaced by artificial intelligence pretty quickly. If your value is based on what you produce, your growth is capped, because leadership is not about your output anymore. It's about what happens without you in the room. When I was leading one of my first technology teams more than 15 years ago, I had this problem of trying to control everything and jumping into every decision I could, trying to provide my insights even into technical solutions, which I knew nothing about. I still don't know much, but I'm getting there. And slowly, too slowly, to be honest, I noticed that my team has actually started to act lazily, not contributing to the discussions, lacking perspective and ownership. My need to be involved in execution was actually killing the process, not helping it. So I stepped out and the team became much more autonomous. Creativity sparked and progress was back on track when I shifted from execution thinking to management thinking. And that's level number two, the management. Now you move up. You enter your boss era. You are not just doing the work anymore. You're managing. You're managing people, processes, projects. You are in the meetings, aligning things, circle back meetings, catch up meetings, meetings about meetings before the meetings, making sure nothing breaks. And this is where most team leads operate, and also where most of them burn out, because this level comes with a very sneaky trap. Actually, two. First lie, I need more knowledge, I need more information. So you go deeper technically with more courses, more certifications, more trainings. The second lie is that I need to prove myself. So you work longer hours, take more responsibility, say yes to everything. And now you're busy all the time, but nothing is really changing. You're responsible, but not influential. You are everywhere, but not actually driving anything. I had a client who was a senior engineer, recently promoted to a team lead. Smart, reliable, high performer, a great sense of dark humor and caffeine addiction. The kind of person you always want on your team. But he was completely burned out. He was working 10, 12 hours per day, saying yes to everything, jumping into every problem because he thought it was faster if he just did it himself. On the surface, he looked calm and ready. And a Slim Shady fans, yeah. Well, on the surface, everything really looked fine. Work was getting delivered, results were reached, but his team wasn't growing. They were waiting on him, escalating everything, and he became the bottleneck. And despite all the effort, he still felt invisible. No recognition, no real influence. At one point, he said that I'm doing everything right, so why I am stuck? So we changed the approach, not by adding more effort, but by removing it. He stopped jumping into execution, started delegating properly, and focused on how he communicates, especially upwards. Within a few months, not only was he working less, but also people started seeing him differently, not just someone who gets gets things done, but as someone who leads. And that's when opportunities started showing up. Not because he worked harder, but because he changed the level he was operating on. Then, higher salary, more remote days, and increased learning budget. This is the result of just a few months of focused effort. This is just one of my many clients whom I help to lead their teams better and become the best version of themselves in a management role. You can check more information about my one-on-one mentorship in the description below. Spaces are limited because it's not an AI automation or online course. It is literally a personal mentorship with me, one-on-one. This is where most people get frustrated because logically it doesn't make sense. I'm doing more than ever, so why I am not moving? Because off effort is not the bottleneck anymore. Leverage is. And this is when you enter level 3, which is the majority of people are not even aware about. Level 3, communication. This is where the game changes absolutely. This is the level nobody explains properly, and this is why it feels unfair. The highest level of value is communication. And I mean not talking more or louder, not sounding smart, but how you frame ideas, how you influence decisions, how you represent your team, how you position your work. This is why you see people who are objectively worse technically actually moving faster, because they can make things clear, they can simplify complexity, they can influence the room. They don't just do the work, they control how the work is perceived. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Your work does not speak for itself. You should. And you don't connect your work to the impact if you make it visible. If you don't help others understand why it matters, your work gets ignored. Not because people are unfair or stupid, well, sometimes they are, but because they are busy with their own responsibilities and their own lives. Now, let's go a bit deeper, because even if you understand those 3 levels, you can still stay stuck. Why? Because 2 games are happening in every company. The visible one, tasks, deadlines, tickets, delivery, and the invisible one, perception, trust, positioning, relationships. Most team leads are obsessed with the visible game. They execute, they deliver, they stay busy, and they expect results to follow. Well, they don't. Promotions don't happen in Jira, they happen in conversations. Who trusts you? Who knows your work? Who sees you as someone who can handle bigger problems? If you are not actively playing that game, you are relying on luck. And that's a terrible strategy. Here's what high-performing leaders do differently. They don't just complete tasks, they clarify everything, sometimes even aggressively. Every task becomes why we are doing this. What does success actually look like? How should this be done when it really needed? Because here is the difference. Average performers execute instructions. Strong leaders shape the outcomes. So if we are simplifying all of this, there are a few uncomfortable shifts you need to make. First, you need to stop being the best doer. The identity will keep you stuck. Second, stop trying to win by working harder. This is not the stamina game, it's a positioning game. Third, treat communication like a core skill, not nice to have. Communication is leadership. That means you need to explain decisions clearly, connect work to impact, make your team visible, and influence direction. Fourth, start playing the invisible game on purpose. Build relationship. Speak when it matters. Frame your work properly, because if you don't, someone else will, and they will get your paycheck. Most team leads don't fail because they are bad, they fail because they stay too long at the wrong level. Execution or management, but never fully stepping into influence. And once you see this, you can't unsee it, because now every meeting, every update, every conversation becomes leverage. From doing to managing to influencing. And if you get this right, you don't just become a better manager, you become someone your company cannot ignore. They cannot lose you. This is your hedge against layoffs and against artificial intelligence replacing your job. And if you want to understand how to play influence game by running more productive one-on-one meetings with your manager, you should check this video next.